How's it going, everybody? Welcome to We Do Tech. Now, a while back, we took a look at the Nighthawk memory from T-Force, and today we're going to take a look at some of their other RAM, the Extreme, which does have a bit more of a different approach to styling, having a bit more a clean design instead of that heavy gaming look to it with the wings on the Nighthawk. Now, these ones are fully kitted out with ARGB. They kind of have a mirror inside them as well. They do look very clean. So if you're looking more towards that type of memory, which I haven't really seen that much of, then this is definitely something that you might want to take a look at. So specs wise, both the Nighthawk memory and also the Extreme memory pretty much looks exactly the same on paper, but do they perform the same, or does the Extreme, like the name implies, deliver more? We'll get into that, but first let's take a look at pricing for these bad boys. So the specific kit that we have here is retailing for around $140 on Amazon or 3,300 Rand for here in South Africa. But if you do live here in South Africa, you can use our coupon code WeDoTech on a bigski.co.za, where you can get an additional 400 Rand off. And that also accounts towards the Nighthawk memory as well, and then some of their other products. So definitely check that out to get some nice discount. But overall, the pricing for the memory is actually pretty affordable across the range. So definitely check them out if you're looking for something a bit more affordable. Now, something this memory does definitely get right is to have a good balance between gaming and also a professional look. You do have this mirror look to them, and when you switch them on, the 15 addressable RGB LEDs inside do shine through the mirror to illuminate the RAM. Now, the Extremes are fingerprint magnets. They're already here. I tried to clean them up a bit more, but now if you do touch them a bit too much, you do also, of course, get a microfiber cloth included, which you can use to try and clean them off. But again, they are very prone to smudges, so just take care of that. Now, regarding the RGB, they do work with ASUS or a Sync, Gigabyte Fusion, MSI Mystic lighting, and then also ASRock's Polychrome RGB. So you do have multiple options for effects on the RAM. You do get your standard static effects, the pulse effect, flash, color cycle, and then also the default rainbow effect. And then of course also off if you want to do that for some reason. Now, each of the 15 LEDs are individually addressable, which makes it very easy to incorporate the RAM into a nice color scheme. Now, if you wanted to, of course, you can overclock these memory modules, and from what we've seen, they do perform quite well, but we didn't do that because we're still pretty new to RAM overclocking, and it does take a lot of time to get right. And also, majority of people won't really do that, so we just stuck to the stock settings. Now, of course, you do need to go enable your XMP profile to get the max performance out. Again, 4000 megahertz, you don't want to set it on a 2166, so definitely go activate that inside your motherboard software. Now, for all of our testing, we did use the 16 gig kit with two 8 gig modules, and of course running at 4000 megahertz with timings of 18, 22, 22, and 42. Now, we are also going to compare the Extremes to some of the other memory that we've tested before, and which we also just have around. So we do have a few ones that also it's not necessarily running at the 4000 megahertz. Some of them are running a bit lower, and also with different timings and so on. But we do have a nice little comparison to go with there. Now, for all of our testing, we did pair up the Extreme memory with our 9900K on an MSI Ace Z390 motherboard. Now, again, RAM is kind of a tricky thing to benchmark really. With IDA64, it was clearly the winner, but when it came to the Cinebench benchmarks, it kind of seems to come down to margin of error there. As results were very mixed and extremely close to each other. We can see that the Extremes did quite well nonetheless. Whether we down the overclock to 3000 megahertz or around 4000 megahertz, they always stayed in the top 3. So we can at least say that the performance is very consistent. Now, of course, if you wanted to pair it up with an AMD CPU, it might actually do better there because we do know that AMD does like faster memory a bit more than Intel currently. So it might perform a bit better on an AMD system. But currently we did all of our tests on Intel, so that is where it sits. So then in conclusion, the Extreme modules are a very good, a very consistent modules, and they do definitely look different, which I honestly do love. Most of the times, most memory modules just kind of look exactly the same, and that's why I really like the Nighthawk memory. They looked all out, and the Extreme is going to fit into a system that's a bit more sophisticated, but with RGB. So yeah, you'll still get all of your performance out there. Now, fortunately, or maybe unfortunately, you are actually able to see yourself in a reflection of the memory modules. So if you want to just look at yourself, you can do that, but it's going to look nice and glossy in your system. And just, of course, clean it off, which we're definitely going to need to do with all of me touching it now. So just, yeah, make sure that it's nice and clean, especially if you're looking to use it in a nice clean build. But really, that's kind of the only drawback, if you want to call it that. Other than that, they're actually really good, especially considering the price point, and with our discount applied. Remember, just use the coupon code WeDoTech inside bigski.co.za, where you'll just get a nice little discount there. And then also just a big shout out to Tech Traders for sending over the memory for our review. So a big thanks to them. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, share, comment like always. Check out the link in the video description if you want to get it for yourself, and I will check all of you next time. Cheers, guys.